I am terrified of heights. I can't say I've always been that way. My mom was short, so it couldn't have been from the womb. If I had to pick a time that my unreasoning fear began, I believe I could. I recalled the incident the other day because of a book I am reading. There Are Ghosts Among Us is written by the daughter of a well-known crime writer. Anne Rule tells real-life murder stories. Her daughter Leslie is a ghost hunter. I am a student of the occult, and selected Leslie's book for my late-night entertainment. I never feel I've gotten a good night's sleep unless I wake up screaming at least once. One of the book's sections had to do with hauntings that take place in amusement parks. One of the parks that received the most thorough coverage happened to be a place called Connet Lake, which is a venue my family and I frequented when we lived in Pennsylvania. One hot summer day, my mom, my cousin, and I were walking around the park looking for entertainment when Barry suggested that a roller coaster ride would be very much to his liking. It was his birthday, and my mom decided to give the little fellow his wish. We boarded a torture trap called the Blue Streak, and off we went to Trauma Fame. To begin with, I had never been on a roller coaster before, so my expectation that it would be a tame trip around the park over the heads of our fellow tourists was soon put to rest. We weren't moving very fast as we left the entrance tunnel, and I relaxed, hoping the entertainment would pick up a little. After our slow ascent on the first hump, it did. The rest of the ride was one hurdle after another. I might have taken it in more stride than I did, but soon after we found ourselves propelled through the air at warp speed, my mother, who was sitting in the middle, realized that I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. The reason for this oversight was not misplaced bravery on my part. The fact was, the latch on my belt was broken, and my attempts to lock myself in had failed. For the rest of the ride, the only thing keeping me from meeting my maker was my mother's hand pressed firmly against my belly. My cousin had a wonderful time, but his belt had worked fine. My mother and I experienced the scariest time of our lives. Me because the only thing between a quick demise and my safe arrival at port was my mother's ability to hold on to me, and Mom was afraid she might lose her grip. Mom had motion sickness to add to her travail. Apparently, I wasn't the only person whose mortality was challenged by the Blue Streak. Per MS rule, a sailor had plummeted to his death after making an ill-planned experiment in gravity's effect when you stand up in a moving amusement park ride when you are suspended 70 feet over the earth. Another park employee reported seeing a ghost when one of the Blue Streak's cars took off by itself, and the employee had to chase it to the skunk tunnel. There was a little girl there in front of the car when he arrived, and there was no earthly explanation for her presence. Years have passed since I was 7. Well, a few years. All right, a lot more years than I'll admit to, and I haven't thought of the Blue Streak for a long time. Still, I have had plenty of bad dreams about being hurtled through space with nothing between me and my maker, but good luck and a death grip on my mommy. I am glad I didn't fall out. My life hasn't been so wonderful and world-shaking that my early departure would have wrought inestimable damage to society. But my folks would have missed me, and my siblings, well, I'm not sure. But I think they would remember that there used to be a sister born between San Antonio and Salionopolis. Connet Lake visitors would have remembered me, too, because you can bet your nether parts I would have haunted the place if my mom had let go. In any event, I would have had someone to play with in the skunk tunnel.